Hi, this is PR Sundar and welcome to Dalal Street Week Ahead program. Last week, the markets were very volatile. In fact, one of the worst volatile market in the recent history, you can say after coronavirus. And Nifty was around 15,750. From there, it shot up to 16,400. Then again from 16,400 came back to 15,750. Again Friday there was a very big rally. It was making more than 400 point move on almost 3 days, continuous days. This was really, if I have to explain in one word, is treacherous and such a very bad market. But everybody was puzzled about the Friday's rally. And though global markets were good, and we thought Nifty will go up by 150, 200 point, but it gap up more than 200 point, and then another 250, 270 point it went up. And Reliance shot up 6%. And now the people are speculating Reliance demerger. Reliance, will be demerging Reliance Jio and Reliance Retail separately. Then Reliance Jio will come out with IPO separately. Reliance Retail will come out with IPO separately. Because with the current regulations, a company coming out with a rights issue is not that favorable. So it is much easier if the company is demerged and they individually come out with IPO. And of course, most of the holding will be with the Reliance. So I was just telling my friend, when the markets are very bearish, the government may take some action and they will give some shock therapy to the short sellers. And one such shock therapy was called the Nirmala Sitharaman candle. Just in one stroke, the corporate tax was reduced from 30% to 22%. And then this HDFC merger was also a shock therapy only. And I still suspect, in order to give the shock therapy, the government must have advised the HDFC to go for merger. And the same thing also, now also I am feeling, just to give the shock therapy, the government may be advising Reliance to go for the demerger. But again, all these are like our guesswork only. So we don't know what is true and what is not true. But anyway, even if government advises, it's good only, right? The government is doing good thing only. So they are not doing bad thing. So there is nothing to complain. And on Saturday, another mini shock therapy came from finance minister, and she's reduced the taxes on petrol and diesel. And then there were some other announcements also, some cylinder subsidy, then something about metals and cement, and people are speculating tomorrow there will be a gap up. But I do not know. When we closed on Friday, the Dow was plus 300, Dow future. Then it came to minus 600. Then again, the entire 600 point fall was wiped out and to close in green. That was almost 900 point fall, 600 point recovery, about 1500 point swing. I'm talking from 3:30 Friday time. And still the US markets is still not out of woods. And Dow, just after losing more than 1500 point in just 2 trading session, and third trading session fell another 6600 point. Then on a closing basis, it just closed about 40-50 point only, not even 100 point. And the worst thing is that Nasdaq is still closed in red. So intraday, Nasdaq fell more than 30% from the recent high. Now S&P 500, that's what most of the people will be watching because it's a broader index. It's an index of 500 stocks. That went into bear territory, falling more than 20% from the recent high. Of course, on a closing basis, it was less than 20%. So when the mother market is having lot of trouble, and I don't know how other markets can recover. So this fuel price cut or Reliance merger news and all these things, at least can help our market from collapsing below 15,700. So the recent low was 15,735, and in the month of March, low was 15,671. So 15.7 approximately is the lower limit for our thing. So that lower swing was broken in US. In fact, yesterday was the lowest point, but we are still far away from the 15,700. So by looking at this market, all these good things will help to support our market from collapsing below 15,700. But however, how much it can go higher, that possibility is very, very little as of now, unless US market stabilize. Now, let us look at some good news and some bad news. If we are looking at some good news, one good news is that FIIs in F&O, they are covering their shorts. And earlier, they were having about 83% short in index futures, but now their index future short has come down to 61%. And maybe another 10-15%. So I think another 5% also, 5-6%. So it become a normal market. And normally, FII short position should be about 45 to 55%, not more than that. And second thing, FIIs in cash market also, they reduced their selling. Their selling on Friday, despite market shooting up so much, so they sold about only 1,000 plus crore. And third one is the Reliance speculation. So HDFC merger news, and it backfired, it fizzled out, and both HDFC and HDFC Bank fell below the level where it was trading pre-announcement of the merger. But let us hope this Reliance speculation has some substance and Reliance holds the market. And in fact, on Friday, Reliance alone contributed to about 120 points for Nifty rally. And then coming back to the fuel price reduction, it's really very good, and nobody expected something good the government has done. And the government must be watching, the inflation is higher, and then RBI had to increase the interest rate even in between the policy meeting. So when the inflation is higher, so the government has to do something from its side. So that the government has done. So the reduction in fuel prices and will reduce the inflation in the long run. And because every product is being transported from one place to another place, so the cost of transportation is very high. In fact, in US also, recently one company, Target, retail chain, came out with the bad results. They said the transportation cost and the employee cost are the reasons for their bad performance, and that is when US markets reacted so much negatively. So the government has done something good on the inflation part. In fact, last week, though markets were so volatile, but the auto stocks did not move much. So probably some people were expecting this. And now with this less expectation of inflation, so the Bank Nifty may outperform going forward. So global markets also stabilized, and most of the global markets stabilized on Friday, but only one market did not stabilize, that is US markets. And 15,700 support is held one more time. There I think 3 or 4 times Nifty broke 15,800, but it did not break 15,700. So that is something good. But of course, not everything is good. There are some bad things also. One is that FIIs are continuously selling, relentless selling in the month of May, and now their May month selling will be surely highest in the last 2 years. And second bad thing, US markets are still jittery. Anytime one small bad news can, US markets can break the lows once again. Unless US markets stabilize, other markets cannot stabilize. So if everything goes well, this week the trading range will be 15,700 to 16,400. Why? If you see the last 2 weeks, this was the swing high and swing low. In the last 2 weeks, the swing low was 15,700 and swing high was 16,400. So if 15,700 is broken on the downside for one or the other reason, then it's going to be very, very bad. That can happen only if the US market breaks yesterday's low. On the other hand, for one or the other reason, if 16,400 is crossed, there will be a lot of short covering, and the next level will be 16,800. Why 16,800? Last time on the way down, and 16,800 support was held multiple times. Just like now, the 15,700 support is being held multiple times. And then once that 16,800 was broken, a non-stop market fell more than 1,000 points. So therefore, on the upside, we can expect 16,400 as the resistance. If that is crossed, 16,800 will be resistance. On the downside, I don't want to give a second opinion. I still pray that 15,700 is being held. And stocks to be in focus, definitely auto stocks will be in focus. And fuel price cut is good news for them. And this inflation is good news for banking stocks. So the next week, auto, banks, and of course, Reliance will also be in focus. So let us hope for a better week. And one thing I can promise you, the markets are going to be hugely volatile. And that is because if any series, if the first 3 weeks are volatile, the fourth week will also be volatile. In fact, the fourth week will be even more volatile. But I don't think that the kind of volatility we have seen last week, that can happen next week. But still it will be very, very volatile. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for watching.